Good timing. Perfect opportunity to show you how to use flue flames to get around a bit quicker. Your field guide contains a map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall. And here we are. Quite the time saver. These stairs lead directly to Central Hall. You can get almost anywhere in the castle quickly from Central Hall. Always something happening here. It's the heart of the hive. Our King's Cross station, so to speak.
The food that appears in the Great Hall isn't conjured.
That should be all for now. You'll be expected to attend both Charms and Defense Against the Dark Arts classes today. And I'd like to be sure you get to Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
What will I learn in Charms class?
Exactly what you might expect. Spells, charms, jinxes. All terribly useful. I think you will enjoy Professor Ronan. He's a clever and entertaining wizard, and a talented teacher.
Can you tell me more about the Defense Against the Dark Arts class?
Defense Against the Dark Arts, as the name implies, focuses on how to defend oneself against the evils that lurk beyond these walls. A mastery of Defense Against the Dark Arts is required for those who aspire to become Aurors. Fortunately, we are lucky to have the ever-gifted Professor Hecat in charge of our students' education in that regard.
You mentioned Hogsmeade, Professor.
Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village in Britain, and is home to an array of shops and pubs. You should be able to find all of the school supplies you require in Hogsmeade. You will also, I imagine, enjoy many a butterbeer there with friends in due course.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day, and you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
I'm sorry, Professor, but I'm afraid that's all there is to it.
Almost precisely what Professor Fig said. Speak of the devil, Professor Fig. Your ears must have been burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig, to explain the details of the field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you. Good luck today. And remember to use your field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable to me, as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
It's about time we worked with someone like Black in charge.
It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today, before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you masterfully evade Professor Weasley's interrogation regarding our late arrival?
I did my best, but I'm fairly certain she suspects we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well trained. Happily, you have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, why don't I show you the clever enchantment we included in the field guide's map? Unfold it and have a look. The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
This will be incredibly helpful. Thank you.
Now, sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
Revelio.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Revelio.
Countess speeds! Woohoo!
Revelio.
What are you up to now?
Revelio.
That life is beyond.
Lumos.
Potato!
Revelio. Lumos.
Harry Pippin certainly
Revelio.
It all baffles me.
Here. Behind you. There is an open seat here.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me. I've always found that fun goes hand in hand with mastery, as I'm sure the Quidditch players amongst us would agree, So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off? Hmm? Eh? Very simply, cast Accio on one of the spheres and relinquish your charm at the last. Very good. Stay focused. Splendid! Happens to the best of us. That's it! Not to worry. Very good. Points to Gryffindor. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up. You'll be the blues, just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Watch this.
Very good.
Let us see this. There we go. Nicely done. Be sharp. Phew.
Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Here we go.
Excellent control there.
Watch this. There we go. Quite impressive. Let us see this. Concentrate, Natsai. Do not think I will start going easy on you now.
That's it! Very good, both of you. Well done. Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Ouagadougou just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Is Ouagadougou much bigger than Hogwarts?
Ouagadougou School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts. But it never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
Is Ouagadougou a castle like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Ouagadougou uses one.
You can cast spells without a wand?
Oh, yes. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Ouagadougou, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can use
A word, if you would.
if you're so inclined.
Well, you'd be
You
using
wanted
it
to
on
speak with
clothing,
me,
to be
Professor?
precise, Beth.
I did.
You know
I
photos
trust
on
your
clothing.
first charms lesson lived up to expectation.
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Revelio.
Professor Ronan reminds me of my grandfather. Loads of wisdom, but a bit mad.
After my brother learned the summoning charm, it was constant. This, Accio that, cutlery flying everywhere. Quite unsafe, really.
Hello there. You're the new student, aren't you?
Hello. You wanted to speak to me?
Samantha Dale. I've been eager to meet you. You're the student everyone's been whispering about. Hope your first day's going well. You certainly seem to hold your own in charms.
I've been fortunate. Beginner's luck.
My brother William would tell you not to be so humble and to trust your abilities. Then again, he tends to be overconfident in his. Well, Better see to my charms homework. I'm afraid I can't count on beginner's luck to impress Professor Ronan.
Revelio.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Goblins, werewolves, where were you? In the Goblin Rebellion of 1752.
And by the end of it, the Minister for Magic was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, what fun! I won't say my goodbyes. I shall cheer for the boy who says you're telling lies.
I'm not telling lies, Peeves. It was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't. It was Basil Flack.
Oh, fight! It's a bold attack. Was the Minister a boot or the Minister a black?
Stop it, Peeves. You'll get us in trouble.
In trouble you will be, but you can't give Peeves a smack. She says it's a boot, and he says it's a flat.
Peeves, enough. You'll get us all detention. And you're both wrong anyway. It was Hephaestus Gore.
It wasn't Boot and it wasn't Flack, but you're all in trouble with Professor Black.
Oh, don't do that. That's not necessary. It's good Black's children are too young to attend Hogwarts. If I hated it, my mom would love them.
The headmaster hates everyone who isn't a pure-blood Slytherin.
Professor Weasley.
Do you suppose Black's children are as condescending?
Our neighbour at home knows someone who's related to the inventor of Scarecrow.
Oh.
Revelio.
I thought Professor Black would get rid of all the Muggle-born.
Revelio.
That's when everything changed. That's absurd. You could pick any point in history. That's when everything
Revelio.
Things are changing all the time.
What was that for?
Revelio. 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 Lumos. Revelio.
Is that all you've got?
Levioso!
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Levioso.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with a basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember? Good. Well done. Very good. But the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
This should be lucky.
Nothing lucky about it.
Stupid ego complicates things.
Class, I hope you were paying attention. That is how you cast.
This can't be your first duel.
Let's just say I'm a quick learner.
How's the view? How perceptive. Thank you.
I do enjoy lively duels. I'm always fine for this adept. Want your opponent assigned to attack or defend yourself?
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Gryffindor.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments. All right. That's enough spectacle for one day.
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you.
Huh. Always thought Levioso was for first years. Not anymore.
Nice work.
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? It felt more like I was dueling an expert. Sebastian Sallow, by the way. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
I've dueled enough. Consider yourself lucky I held back.
Huh, fair enough. You owe me an honest duel when you aren't. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling organization.
Exclusive and unsanctioned. Count me in.
Excellent. Knew I was right about you. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance. If you're interested. Till next time.
Revelio.
Oh, I'm not much for dueling. I prefer to keep things friendly.
I'd hate to face Professor Hecat in a duel.
My brother just started a whole...
You dueled Sebastian. He's strong competition.
Revelio. You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented blue powder.
Revelio.
What did you think you were doing? That owl has... It would be clever to transfigure her into a goblet and leave her in the Great Hall after a feast. The elves had to transfigure every goblet in the castle looking for her. I hope you're jolly well proud.
Revelio. Revelio.
What about the room, Professor?
I was thinking the same thing, Deke. Perhaps you could help.
Oh, excuse, Deke.
Ah, there you are. I trust your first classes went well?
They did, Professor.
I heard as much from Professors Hecat and Ronan. Seems Professor Fig taught you quite a bit before you arrived. I'd wager there's a good deal more to your travels here than what you've told me. Isn't there?
Nothing more, Professor.
I see. Like trying to get a sonnet from a streeler. Regardless, you must continue to build upon what you've learned. In that regard, I've asked your professors to help hasten your progress with some extra assignments.
Professor Ronan did mention something about that.
In fact, Professor Ronan will meet you outside momentarily to assign your first one. Now, regarding the trip to Hogsmeade I mentioned earlier, we've arranged to replace the supplies lost on your way here, including seeds, potion recipes, and spellcrafts.
Thank you, Professor.
And Mr. Ollivander will connect you with the perfect wand. You've managed your classes well with a borrowed wand, but you'll find the magic you cast with your own wand to be far superior.
Can you tell me more about the potion shop, Professor?
J. Pippin's Potions stocks a wide array of potions ingredients, although they rarely sell recipes. Professor Sharp asked that they have a couple of particular recipes on hand for you.
There's an Ollivander's in Hogsmeade.
There is. Most people are familiar with the shop in Diagon Alley. We're fortunate to have someone like him nearby. Mr. Ollivander is a genuine craftsman and highly skilled wand maker. I would trust no one else to pair me with a wand.
I've never heard of a spellcraft before, Professor. What is it?
A spellcraft is a recipe of sorts used when conjuring objects. I shall explain more about them when you begin working with transfiguration magic.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade.
Very well. I'd like you to make your first visit to the village with a classmate. Help you get your bearings. Perhaps Sebastian Sallow or Natsai Onai. I've noticed you spending time with them.
I'd like to go with Natty.
Excellent choice. Miss Onai is one of our most talented students. And she knows the area. She'll keep you well clear of any of Victor Rookwood's undesirables en route.
Rookwood?
A rather unsavory local. Best to avoid him and his associates, including his right hand of sorts, Theophilus Harlow, if you can. Once you've finished Professor Ronan's assignment, your friend will meet you at the castle doors. No time to waste. The sooner you complete your work, the sooner you can enjoy a butterbeer at the Three Broomsticks.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide.
Revelio.
I'm most pleased to be included.
Nobody can do a hex like me, and I dare you to prove me wrong. You saw that first year with the engorged head. That was me.
I've learned almost all of the Goblin Rebellions off by heart. You can
Revelio.
Ah, there you are.
You have a new spell to teach me, Professor?
Indeed I do, and an exceedingly useful one at that. The mending charm, Reparo. Fixes things right up, makes a broken object good as new in the blink of an eye.
It seems as if that might come in handy.
More frequently than one would imagine. As Professor Weasley mentioned, I am not the only one who will be teaching you spells outside of class in an effort to catch you up with your peers. A number of your professors have agreed to do so as well, but first, each shall ask that you complete a few preliminary tasks to hone your magic. I have arranged some for today. See them through and then report back to me. We will have you casting Reparo in no time.
Why must I first complete tasks to learn Reparo?
No lesson or lecture can compare to first-hand experience, and these tasks should provide you with just that. Such experience is invaluable when mastering any new bit of magic.
I'll start on the task right away, Professor. This is the right area. I wonder where the flying page is. Revelio. Got it.
Revelio.
A flying page must be around here somewhere. Brilliant!
Hogwarts survives the rain.
I'd trust the preliminary tasks weren't
I completed the assignments, Professor.
marvelous. You clearly know your way around basic charms. Let us give the old mending charm a try then, shall we? Remember to be deliberate in your enunciation and movements. I want to see some vigor. Now, wand at the ready.
Yes, sir.
Remember, your wand is a conduit of your magic.
Reparo.
That's it. Very good. If you would like to practice mending something, have a go with that broken statue in the alcove by the water. It allegedly symbolized heartbreak. Perhaps a jilted lover thought it too accurate and lashed out.
Revelio. Revelio. Accio. Lumos. Accio. Levioso. Revelio. Ha. Accio. Revelio.
My mother sends the foulest owls. Talking about the actual owls. Tried what I thought was a
Accio. Revelio.
It's like floggerworm mucus.
Revelio.
I'm convinced they're being
Revelio. Revelio.
There's something in there. I just know it.
Hello. I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. I'm Lenora. Pardon me if I seem a little distracted at the moment. Everyone thinks I'm utterly balmy. Samantha thinks I'm potty. But it's this painting. I never noticed it before. If I know Hogwarts, and I do, an empty frame doesn't appear for no reason. There's something more to this.
Have you gained any insights about the painting since you've been studying it?
I did discover that casting Lumos has an effect of some kind. But I'm not sure what to do next.
Are there other empty paintings like this around the school?
Yes, a few. This entire place is somewhat of a riddle, to be honest. If I can work out the riddle of this one, I'll know what to do with all of them. As good a place as any to begin.
If I have the time, I may look. Could be intriguing.
I've been racking my brains long enough. I hope you'll have better luck than I have. Do come and find me if you stumble on something illuminating that solves the mystery.
Lumos. That spot must be a clue. I should look around in case it's nearby. Revelio.
This guy.
This looks like the location from the painting. What could be so special about it? Here. Lumos. Let's get you back to your frame, little moth.
Do you think if we asked Charles?
I knew there was a connection. I should tell Lenora that I solved the puzzle of that empty frame. Revelio.
Even if I knew how to get into the other common rooms, I wouldn't bother. There's a reason.
Whoever decided to make Professor Black headmaster
When my mother was here, it was a different professor.
Revelio. Lenora, I solved the mystery of that painting.
You did? How?
I found the location depicted in the painting, and then I cast Lumos to guide a moth back to the frame.
All very logical, I suppose. Pity I was so close to solving it. You have a knack for solving riddles. Natty's good at that too. So is Amit, although he does tend to over-explain. Well, I'm glad someone figured it out. The moth! I should have seen that.
Repair it. Revelio. Revelio.
You can get all sorts of clothing and gladness, not just common ones either. I've seen rare garments, very powerful, I imagine. I can't say I feel the need for that sort of thing in mind. I'd be quite content with a new pair of socks.
Oh. While I remember.
I really have made a mess of things.
Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Nice to see you again. Thank you for asking. And I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You might recall that I was trying to cast non-verbally when we met in the common room. Well, I mastered that. And now I've taken to creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. but I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened the peace of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
I suppose I could help if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books. Accio! Got it. Only 4 more to go.
Revelio. Revelio. Accio.
This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her.
What are you up to now? Revelio.
Protego! Lumos. Revelio. Protego! Lumos. Revelio. Revelio. the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
How nice to see you, my young friend. Revelio. Leviosa. Reparo. Lumos.
I'm not saying you have to be boring, but surely people admire someone who's kind and loyal.
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief! Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Here you are.
Well, lesson learned. I certainly won't be practicing any charms in the library again anytime soon. Now, to work out where I went wrong. Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin. Thank goodness some people are trustworthy. Certainly wouldn't want anyone but me reading my diary.
I'm more comfortable around plants than people, to be honest. I'd like to shop in the hamlet. I'm too afraid to venture out alone with all that's going on. Rona at the Free Broom always gives such good advice. Don't know how she remembers who we all are either.
Apparently Marenwing was having a bit of a poacher problem. I wonder if that's still the case.
Thomas Brown knows more about books than anyone. Well, perhaps not Madame Scribner, but anyone else, I'd say.
I adore the hamlets near the coast. They're a bit damp, but ever so picturesque.
Wish I could see what Hogwarts looks like from my place. That's terrifying.
Hogwarts is a second home to me. Feeling a bit nostalgic about leaving one day.
I adore spending so much time. Wonderful place to practice accio on other students' books. Do you find yourself taking certain ways to class based on the books that you pass? I do. Some are much better conversationalists than others. Have you ever seen a professor outside the classroom? I find it jarring to see someone like Professor Wilson at being
Muggle school is so dull compared to Hogwarts. I'd imagine. Never been to a Muggle school myself.
I spend all day in the Great Hall if I could. It's always so warm and lively. Why study in the common room when you can be outside in the fresh air? I'd rather be in the courtyard than a musty old library any day.
There was a rumour that you looked in the barrels of the Christmas carol and get a present.
I bet Garlic has a place. Why else would it be the only common room in France? It's obviously showing favoritism.
They really shouldn't allow food and drinks in the common room. stepped in a puddle of butterbeer the other day. Better than failed potion, I suppose.
Someone was practicing with a broken wand in the common room last night. Looked like a war had broken out.
Chairs in the common room are too comfortable. Closed my eyes for 2 seconds the other day. Woke up 2 hours after charm.
Well, I've yet to understand how one is expected to do the homework for this class, since that would require staying awake for it.
Nothing to be learned at Hogwarts that one cannot learn out in the world. Of course, there's something to be said for eating the house elf's quince pie whilst learning.
Amit Takar is already studying for owls. No wonder he doesn't have any friends.
Can't seem to master the Wiggenweld potion. Perhaps my stirring technique's better.
There's simply too much information if you ask me. Sure, it's not all necessary. Next thing you know, they'll be teaching us about muggles.
I'm tempted to say I lost my wand just at the beginning of silence. How's that for transfiguration?
If you try to study in the library, at least you can be assured of peace and quiet. Madam Scrivener sees to that.
I'm not going to lose any more sleep over my potion homework. Bruce is at the sleeping class just to be sure.
I teach me everything else. In fact, if Hector doesn't hurry up and teach me those stories, I swear I shall get on that train and go for it.
Why would Helga Hufflepuff have to tap on barrels then? That's the only thing we talk about. If you ask any Hufflepuff, they'll tell you there's a badger in their common room.
Wish our common room was bigger. I can never find enough space to spread out my star chart.
Why stay in the common room when you can be outside in the fresh air? I'd rather be in the courtyard than in the library any day.
I think it's rather unique to go through the local of the common room. I bet all of the houses would appreciate it if you asked them.
Let's be sure we make some time to study. The common room is around and
I always wondered what that house of common room was like. Oh, that, of course. I keep wondering.
I should like to retire to a small hamlet when I'm older. One just like Frostborough.
That seems rather dull. I'd much rather live in a big city like London.
I enjoy my visits to your residence. I find I'm more comfortable around farms and
Having a bit of a coach problem. I wonder if that's still the case.
Over at the Free Broomstick always takes such good advice. Don't know how she remembers all the living all right.
I wish I could spend all day in Ireland. Should have been born a Hippogriff.
I think Madame Fagawa's brother is a professional Quidditch player. Wish I could meet him.
Lean forward on the broom just right. You can get an incredible burst of speed.
I think it's for the best that Fagawa takes flying seriously. Far too easy for first years to injure themselves in class. Not to say that's not an easy.
The best way to learn how to fly a broomstick is by trial and error. In my case, it was a lot.
Wonder what Kagawa thinks of this. Bet she's fuming.
For a man to fly in a car, even Professor Zarlike would say.
Black White is like. He must be miserable. Although, not while he's here, perhaps. Of course, I'm not sure what job he'd actually be good at. Perhaps something at Azkaban.
Black noticed a scuff on his shoe the other day. I would not take another step until a house elf polished his way for him. Honest man.
I've no doubt that Black will be remembered as the worst headmaster Hogwarts has ever seen. No ability to have a reform whatsoever.
Good thing Professor Weasley takes the role seriously, since Black clearly has no interest in his.
Whoever decided to make Professor Black headmaster of Hogwarts must have been the victim of a flock of whoopers. Out of their minds.
How much longer do you think Black will be headmaster? I have family in America. One if I can transfer to Ilvermorny and come back when he's gone.
It's my favorite place in the entire school. If I didn't